Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed the half. We return to Briar and Karan hanging out in that little cellar.
I'm not going to lie, Kieran. Oh, that fucking hurt.
Yeah, I'll be healing you. I'll be healing you first thing as soon as you're down.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got to think this through. Alright. So we have breakfast. We hear a scream. And we start running. We grab our things and then we get really sad. So it's okay, Foxy. So okay, so
Obviously something happened. We don't know. We need to talk. We need to reach out. And we need to reach out to Tom. We need to find out what happened. Are you all right? I heal you for 18.
Okay. Yes, thank you. That feels much better. Thank you, Karen. Okay, so who are you going to reach out to?
The only person we haven't seen recently before it all happened, Dominicus. And considering hostility, I'm worried, so I think I'll try to reach out to him, and then I'll reach out to Rowan.
Okay. And I'll hold on to my magic in case we need to poof because I don't have a lot left.
I'm getting low on my more potent spells, but we need more information. Are we safe? Where are we, anyways?
How
did you know that?
Covella, we were playing a game of hide and seek, and this is one of her ways in and out of the city. And we came down the chute and looked over where she said smugglers come in, and then she kissed me, and anyway, if we shimmy, there's a way we can get out, but check on them first. You check on them. I'm going to keep an ear out in case guards come by.
So I will attempt to send a message to Dominicus.
Okay.
You still want me to put the message out?
What do you say?
Out of character. Dom, happened. The gods came in, and they claimed that we were to be detained. Brian and I fled. We were worried about the temple. Are you all right?
There's a moment and then you hear kind of this silence that the spell fizzles out.
There was no response. So I looked to Briar.
Maybe he's still in the room.
Could be he's in a room guarded by an antimatter field. Let me try to reach Rowan. Hopefully they're not all in the same place. And I'll spend another sending spell. Rowan, it's Karan. Brian and I escaped. We're in some smuggler pit, a chute. Brian took me there. What happened? Where are you? Are you all right? I can't reach Dom.
Hey. I'm glad you guys are okay. We're in a cell. We saw blood coming out of the door. How many I got? Asher was here. That's it.
There, in a cell. I assume the dungeon, the castle. She
Okay.
mentioned that Asher was there as well, but he used was. And he said he saw the door to where Dominicus had went. There was blood coming from
Blood.
underneath, seeping underneath from inside.
That doesn't make sense. Um,
Nothing logical does, unless there's something foul at play here, but blood.
blood.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
I couldn't reach him.
Kevron. Okay, let's think about this for a moment, though.
You can't. Right, you're right. You can't.
Oh, wait a minute. Dungeon Master. When Briar went in to Dom's rooms, was any of his stuff there? She would have noticed.
Anything that they wouldn't have taken, they took, it seems, anything that was weapons. Obviously, they had those in the carts. Everything else would have been just like his regular belongings.
So
would
I'd
been,
have his
would
back.
been there. Yes.
Okay. Let's think of this through. So they're in dungeons. I have lockpicks. There's we know my Muyer's gone. What about Rowan talked about Porvis. Maybe we could beseech him. Porvis liked
Yes.
Rowan.
Yes, that. Although we barely know them, that seems like the. There's just too. You can't go up with gods. That only holds so many people, and you can only make us invisible for so long. We need help. We need to get.
Are you going through the bags, or did you at any point?
I think while having this conversation, she would probably be working on putting them into the bag of holding. I think we need to put everything in one bag. We should make sure the chalice is still there. Make sure we have everything we need. So she'll open Rowan's bag and she'll put her hand in and say chalice. Does the chalice pop up?
It does.
Okay, we still have it. She puts it in. She'll grab Asher's bag. Do you think he had anything we could use?
Are you saying that as you're going through it?
Yeah.
You kind of immediately notice, kind of like loosely laying on the top of the stuff of his bag, this little coin. with a little leather string run through a little hole on the wooden coin. You see it just has a 5, kind of like a decorative 5 on one side of it. As you pick it up and you turn it around, you see on the other side of the coin is a wolf head holding a sword in the mouth, signifying Asher of Fated 5.
Count look.
Is it? What is?
It looks like a little badge, like we're part of a club. And she's gonna put it in the Rowan's bag of holding, and she's gonna reach for her bag and look to see if she has one.
Kind of gently placed in your bag in the same fashion is a 5 on one side and a snake wrapped around a thorned rose in the middle.
She's gonna put it away and put it in the bag. I think you made one for all of us. And she's just gonna keep putting. At this point, she's just gonna grab the leftover bags and put them all in the bag holding. Okay, calm down, Briar.
Okay. I'm there too. But we need to compose our...
We do. Just let me count on.
Are you looking for the other ones as well? And anybody
No,
else's bags?
She can't. She's starting to break down and she needs to turn off her emotions. So she's shutting it down. Putting everything in the bag. Okay. So reach out to we've met Porvis in the fighting ring, right?
Yes.
I
can muster one more.
One more, and then I will save my magic, and if we need to go invisible, I'll have that ready, cause it's gone since you healed me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll save it for just in case. So Quail said, go through the gate and then shimmy. You'll be able to see the Smuggler's Cove. I don't know if we'll be able to come back this way because when we ran into her, she looked like she was scared of us.
I know.
Turn it off. She looked like she was scared of us. So this place won't stay secure for long.
I agree. We should be careful. Yes. We don't know.
Let's go. We'll go get help.
All right. Lead the way.
And we'll make our way to the grate. And I'll point out the way she did for us to shimmy. And we'll start making our way towards Porvis after Caron messages him.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so Porvis, this is Karan of the Fated 5. You sparred with Rowan. There's been an incident. I believe been set up. And we need your assistance. Where are you?
I'm sorry to hear that. lose any tails you might have, and then get yourself into the sewers. I'll meet you.
Well, it'll be expecting us, so long as we can make it to the sewers.
We can make it. We can make it.
It is just, we need to be sure that no one is following us.
Then I'll just make us invisible now. We can make it. No one will find us.
Very well. We should detect magic first before, to make sure no one is prying already. I think that, sir. Hang on, it's gonna take me a second to try to load this.
Look at Foxy. She's like, Mommy, please don't be sad. No.
She's like, please stop crying.
Foxy
Wait.
literally never does
Look
this.
at what you did, Uncle Holden.
Look what you did.
Look at
See, wait, you gotta turn it to the left, or turn it that way more. Center of screen. There you go. Baby. Puppy break. Puppy break.
Yeah. I'm sorry, baby bear.
And your kitty comforts too.
Yeah, I text
no.
Allie because I see Hermione's face like popping out from behind her thing. I was like, look behind you.
Does Hermione know? Does she sense it too?
Oh, she does, yeah.
Oh.
That's why she was probably...
Like,
Harry's right at my
like,
feet. So.
They're like, mothers, why is it so stressful right now? Why do you have this energy? Oh. Oh. Okay, anyway, continue.
So, yeah, just to cast a detect magic, just to make sure there's no scrying or anything weird that's going on.
Roll perception check on top of that.
Okay. Okay, that is a 23. 18 plus 5.
So, you actually do see a little kind of orb floating off and to the corner of the room.
Briar, can you dispel there's something here? He's watching.
Let me see. I know foxes. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. She is not liking this. I can dispel it, but what if it's... What if it's Elena? Does it look like her? Does it look like her magic?
Doesn't look like her.
She's going to whisper.
Yes, the little tiny orb is actually in the shape of Elena.
Little tiny Elena floating there.
It's a
little tiny Elena floating there.
Oh, hello, I look at you. You're looking real sad. Please don't be sad.
I mean...
No, I know. I'll attempt to dispel, but that's my third. That's my final third. So...
Are we losing invisibility? I guess is what Karan would be trying.
We would lose invisibility. Like, I can either dispel it or use invisibility. So.
As you guys are noticing that, you see the eyes shift to you, Briar, and then you, Karan, into you, and then it vanishes while your dispel magic, or while your detect magic is still up. So you realize that it was turned off of its own volition.
Well, perhaps me noticing it was enough because it's no longer watching, but we need to move and we need to do this now.
Okay.
Before my...
And we go invisible and we start making our way towards sewers.
Roll me a dexterity check or
Yeah.
athletics, I
Okay.
suppose.
Okay.
Athletics or acrobatics, as you're trying to kind of shimmy along this sheer rock face. There's a lot of different handholds and stuff, but not necessarily being the most physically inclined. That would be pretty
Yeah.
difficult.
Yep. The 14 plus 1, 15.
15 in
I
Quran.
got 15 flat.
You got what?
15 flat.
15
flat. Okay, you start to make your way and kind of taking your time, kind of shifting along the bottom of the face of this rock. And then you hear kind of like from that kind of like sky heaven, the King's Heaven, that bridge walkway, you hear kind of like the marching of kind of like the hurried marching of that familiar plate armor noise, kind of going several paladins kind of making their way across into the keep itself.
We keep going.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me one last athletics or acrobatics check as you make your way the second half of the way down.
Dirty 20, 19 plus 1.
Okay.
I got a 19 flat.
19, you know, the rest of the way down, kind of like getting a hang of it. You make your way down to the kind of this little ledge. You realize, okay, there's a path where we could go all the way around this rock face and end up like outside of the city, or we could try to swim it towards the sewer, but there's no way from the from where you are to over to that sewer. It's just more of the thing, like what she told you was that she was able to get out of the city and then back into the city through the normal gates is what she would normally do, but she just happened to notice like, hey, there's people that come in and out of that little sewer grate sometimes.
Yeah, I remember. Karon, can you still make it where people walk on water?
Hang on, let me see if I actually have it prepared. Nope.
Does it? Okay.
I wouldn't be able to do it because I'm out of spell slots for it. I swapped it out for control water, which would allow me, to like part the water.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go for a swim. We need the help. Gonna be a little soggy for it, but at least we won't have all the rubbish of the trash chute all over us, eh?
I'm just concerned about there being a rain of arrows if we're spotted. This breaking ability. Oh, you just look like a couple of strange displacements in the water.
Hey, there's a lot of waves. I think it'll be fine. Okay, perception check, I guess?
There are no waves. No, it's just a river.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a river, eh? Does it look like a swift river?
No,
It's like a canal, like a...
it's
like
more of like a moat
canal.
canal thing. It's
Okay.
not. There's no waves or anything like that. It's not too far. Maybe 2.5 rounds of movement. Well, no, okay, maybe 3 because you guys are not necessarily the most adept swimmers, and it's a good distance. But it would be kind of 3 rounds of movement.
Well, I
Is
mean,
this...
it's either we go for a swim and get right into the sewers for help so we can help our brothers, or we go to the outside of the city and try to make our way in. I would rather just go for a swim.
Short and long. How long will your invisibility even last? We get
And-
out of back in and
An hour. I have an hour. And it's been... I mean, we might be able to make it across the way.
well, though I wouldn't say I'm inept, I'm not an avid swimmer. Quicker route is the better option despite the risk, then. Trust in you.
Okay, so we're agreed. We're going skinny dipping. No, we're just going swimming. She's trying to lighten the mood because she's dead on the inside now. And we're going to carefully get in the water, start to swim.
What kind of pace are you going?
Breaststroke, so carefully. We're not
Mhm.
going sploosh sploosh. We're
Like have like the whole just above the surface of the water, like going breaststrokes, trying to go
Mhm.
slow and not create a lot of ripples and hopefully draw attention.
yeah.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check, both of you.
All right.
13.
I got a 13 as well.
The odd twins.
Fighting against what little current there is, making its way through, you realize you're being a little bit louder than you anticipate, and you kind of like peer up, looking over the kind of the banisters that line the marketplace, and then back towards the keep. The keep's walls kind of towering way up high above you. From what you can tell, it doesn't seem like anybody has shouted or made notice of you.
Okay.
All right.
Just keep swimming.
Okay. Roll me another stealth check. Yes, both of you.
30,
Okay.
20.
30.
That's, 15.
Similar as last situation, you've made your way. You're getting closer. You're getting to the point where like you can actually here and there kind of touch where the ground is a little bit raised up and slopes up towards the sewer. This will be the last stealth check from both of you as you making your way towards the sewer grate.
Get in my way. 14.
Right. 17.
17.
Yep.
Getting out of the water is always the loudest part.
Yep.
Mhm. But we're still invisible.
Oh, did you do invisible? Cool.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been an hour since you cast it.
Oh yeah, no. You kind of gently slosh, kind of watching your footing as some of the like rocky, like almost oyster ground is like pretty rough terrain as you make your way to the bars, and kind of like peering in the bars of that sewer grate. You see just at the very end of your dark vision, kind of a figure sitting in a chair there, and then you kind of like notice it like kind of like peers up and like leans in at you guys.
You said it what towards us?
Kind of
It just looks
gleams,
at-
like yeah, just kind of like what? Why is somebody outside there?
Okay. But wait. Okay.
It's not making its move to you. It's waiting for you like to say something essentially. You're muted, Sky.
Do you think that's one of Corvus's people?
How should I know? All I know is they're in the sewers. There could be somebody watching people to try to escape.
Hey, who goes there?
A magical mermaid
As
seeking
soon as the
aid.
figure stands up, whatever, and you hear kind of like the slosh, slosh, slosh as they make their way over to you. As they get a little bit closer and more into the daylight portion of your vision, you see that they're clad in the kind of normal Eswind Kinghaven guard uniform. What's your business?
Yeah, we fell in.
What are you doing playing on the railings?
I'm trying to be more like gymnastic-y, and it just did not go well. And then my friend tried to reach me, and I'm like much more top heavy than he is, and we just tilted right into the ocean.
Just have to let you-
What's that?
I was just making a joke about Briar being a wood elf climbing up. Poor job of being unsuspicious.
Right. First of all, roll a deception check.
My mouth is gonna get me in trouble. The words just come out. Oh. Deception. That's pretty good.
I rolled this.
Oh, what?
I rolled this.
How good?
I rolled an 18 plus 0.
Yeah. Did you? What the fuck? Alright, now you can't come through this way, so bugger off and stay out of the canals. He starts to turn.
Wait a moment. I don't want to say the name out loud. Can you come closer? We're supposed to meet someone, hey? Get over here.
Meet someone. In
Yeah.
the sewers.
Yes.
Who are you supposed to meet in the sewers?
And message, Porvis.
You're saying
Just
that out
the
loud?
name. No, in the name. I'm casting a message into his brain.
Does he know?
Yes! That's why we went into the fucking ocean. Now get us in, please. We're in a lot of danger and he's supposed to help us. What, you want to cop a feel? What are you doing with your hand?
Gold is what you said. You want to cup of... No, pay.
Hey,
You know how much I'm putting on the line for letting him do this shit? Coming in and out.
yes, I'll pay you, but you have to let us in. Because what if I give you the money and you don't?
That's
Then
very
I'm just
suspicious.
wet and squished on the grate.
I'll pull a
What if I
platinum
let
out.
you in and then you just like overpower me and you don't give me like...
Overpower you? Please.
Look at him. Besides,
Look at my noodle. My arms are basically noodles.
and I'll hold a platinum coin in my.
Well, I mean, for fucking platinum, right? He kind of futzes with his keys or whatever. Alright. Unlocks it. You place a move in his hand.
I had to break the tension.
Okay. Do you place the coin in his hand? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. In you go then.
Okay. Do you know which direction we should go? Left,
I'm gonna cast
Deeper
detect
in
thoughts
there.
on it.
Detect thoughts. To what depth? Because the extent of it is like fucking platinum. He's very happy about that. And then
I want to I wanted to do it while Briar was asking him the question answer to see if it's actually like consciously recalling, yeah, go down here to go this and whatnot, or if he's like, those stupid fucks are gonna walk into a goddamn trap. That's what
no,
I'm.
it's from like him gleaning the thoughts or whatever. There's just, for sake of brevity, just like a few different turns, or whatever, and like into like one of the more like open chambers of the sewers or whatever, and you get kind of like from that the direction that he's giving, and then he gives that same direction as he's kind of recalling it. It seems forthright.
Okay. Then I won't see anything or do anything.
Okay, and we'll go.
Okay. You guys kind of make your way, kind of avoiding the center area. It does have like walkways on either side as you make your way deeper into the sewers and follow those directions and make your way into kind of like one of the larger chambers. You can see kind of like several figures that kind of like flank either side. One of them kind of like covered in like a really dirty, grungy blanket or whatever. And then as you can kind of enter or whatever, that one takes the blanket off and you see like this cleaner halfling. Like he doesn't look like he's wearing, or it didn't look like, the rest of him doesn't match the like dirty cloak that he's wearing or whatever. He draws a knife.
It's a cat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fuck you doing in here?
We're looking for a friend.
Kind of friend.
A friend who has been known to not fight at the cantankerous tanker.
Go yeah. All right. How'd you get into cahoots with the likes of him, eh?
One of our traveling companions struck up a conversation after one of those contests. And more recently, we've spoken with him, or I have. He should be expecting.
You see like another kind of like cloaked figure or whatever, like kind of strut towards you guys or whatever, and drops the blanket, and you do see the familiar figure of Corvus in the kind of the fully clothed garb that you've seen him in the tavern once before. So what have you gotten yourself into now?
Well,
You see as the halfling kind of whatever, like he's like, I didn't get to gut nobody. Kind of puts his knife away.
I think the best way to put it is, I think we've been literally royally fucked.
Royally fucked.
Emphasis on the royal, yes. Although I guess the other term is also pretty emphasized as well. Always safe to talk here.
Absolutely. What kind
Rowan.
of royally fucked?
Well, Rowan and Asher are currently inside of the royal dungeon. We were invited, a party, the five of us, to the castle to take up residence there. Obviously, I'm assuming you saw the announcement the other day.
Yeah, congratulations.
Well, that might have been a bit premature. Inappropriate at this point. While we were eating, Dominicus was called away to meet with his father, to meet with the king. And then, sometime but not long after that, gods came in and attempted to arrest us. There were talks of regicide. I feel
So like the
framed.
king's dead.
Would be true to the term, yes, but we don't know for certain. As soon as the gods came, Briar and I fled. But we also have our own qualms with the temple. I imagine that's probably why flight was our immediate reaction. Though I'm sure Rowan and Asher would have preferred to as well.
This is some royally historical shit right here.
Have you heard anything yet? Do you know what happened? Has word gotten out? I mean, it's been like an hour or two, but it's like they already knew. Saying we did all these things.
And who? Why? After all this, why?
Politics. I guess that's the way it goes. What do you need? How can I help?
We need to get them out. We need to get them out of the dungeons and safe. We need our family whole.
The King's Keep.
Yes.
Yes. And then from there,
I'll do what I can, but I'll need some time. And after this, you owe me big time. The only reason I invited you guys in the first place is that I see something in you. There's something about you. I think your group could be the change that this country needs.
we'll certainly do our best to not disappoint you.
I like trouble.
Well, sometimes trouble is, necessary. Not everything has to be purely altruistic. But there's some things that are just too dark. I have no problem, no qualms with the people up top tearing each other apart, but most of my concern is with those on the bottom, the downtrodden. I used to live in an orphanage. It got, destroyed. We had nowhere to go. We ended up down here. People treated unfairly, people in need. Those are my people.
Your people are our people too.
Indeed. Everyone, all peoples, should have a right to be represented on common ground. No one should prey upon the others.
The problem is when some of those in power want to keep their power. run into people that want to give the little people power. Then there's a power struggle, and then there's a power outage.
Silence.
I'm going to try to assemble a team. It's going to be hard to convince them. Not everybody may see what I see. But like I said, I thought you could be good allies, and that I could be a good ally as well. It's a gut feeling, but I stand behind it.
While
Wow.
you... Sorry.
Oh, you can go ahead.
While you do what you need to assemble what you need, can we rest for a bit so we're in tip-top shape to help?
Absolutely.
Actually, I'd love to even meet these people of yours. Perhaps them getting to see us face to face and not just hearing about us via word of mouth might help.
That could be good. I have a few different crews that are out on task right now. It'll be a while before they get back. You can rest until then.
Thank you.
Don't be the death of me.
Oh boy, we'll try our best.
Something helped me to be the death of you. We'll be in the forefront first.
Okay.
Do I look familiar to you by chance? Not as me.
No.
Okay. Thought I'd ask.
It can like sizes you up. Okay. Returning back to our prison folk. Our prison babies. What you guys up to?
I think Rowan will still be in his same position. It's kind of shocked. Processing. Probably hearing Marty rant about things. Trying to...
What do you think that cloaked figure? That was a bit
Ominous.
strange. It's a good word. Ominous.
As much as I would like to follow him, it's probably not a good idea at this point.
Looks like we still gotta serve our time.
For now.
How are you feeling?
Well, with everything, it's pretty heavy. As much as I'd like to have faith, I really hope that wasn't the last time I speak to her. Did I ever tell you how we met?
No, I was gonna shift a bit. Oh,
Well, she moved when Tamburn moved out. I don't know. It was like 5 or 6. And we became best friends. And years passed, the entire town had a bet going on that we found out about later. Well, 11 or 12, she came up to me one day and told me that she liked me. And I said, "Of course, you're my best friend." And she slapped the ever-loving shit out of me and ran off crying. Well,
She got friend zoned.
I confused, walked home and asked my father, and who was working out in the shed with Tamburn. Turns out that Tamburn made a lot of money that day. He had money riding on her. And, well, they gave me a silver piece, told me to go into a shopkeep, tell the shopkeeper the story, and give Coria the gift. The shopkeeper, who was also in on it, gave me her favorite candy and some flowers and told me to go over to her house and say I'm sorry and admit and explain to me what happened. And ever since then, every time I would get upset, or she would get upset with me, I would go to that shop and repeat that. It happened a lot. And, well, I hung out. Once I gave her the candy, I went back out to my father and Tamburn, and they said to just hang out. And I helped whatever project they were working on, and the rest is now I'm gonna be a father.
that's amazing.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, me and Evie. I wish mine was a little bit more lighthearted. Of course, me being who I am, not a full human, kind of stood out. So I still don't look like your average human. Growing up, I didn't go to school. I spent my time helping my dad with repairs around the city. I would just stand there with his bucket of tools, and if he needed one, I'd go and take it to him. And there were times he would ask me to stay by the cart with all of the supplies while he was doing the repairs. And there was this group of noble boys. They would throw mud at me and, ask me to read things, and I just would look at them. I wouldn't say anything. I just would take it. But then you would see this girl in like the most brightest dress run over. I mean, it's a town that snows a lot, so the mud, she still had like mud on her gown. She wasn't afraid to get dirty. She'd come over and yell at them and tell them to stop picking on me. And when they would leave, she would ask if I was okay, and she did this a lot. And soon she would just almost feels like she would look for me and just kind of talk to me. I would never talk back because I didn't know what to say. She would just talk my ear off. And then I started talking with her, and as we got older, she was everywhere. And I don't know, it's just, she would come over, sneak out of her house in the noble place, and teach me how to read. And then teach my mom how to read too, because my mom didn't know how to read common. So she would take the time out of her day to teach us. I don't think you meet people like that.
That's once in a lifetime. I
Yeah.
hope they get along.
I was in love
Oh, yeah.
once.
Rowan's gonna look over at Marty.
I was performing this show, and you know, you keep your little cap out there, and they put the money in and all that. This woman comes up, she takes one of the coins off out of the, just obviously a big no-no. You don't do that. And so I stopped the show and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am," and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't have any money to pay for my whore tonight." And I like look at her, of course, because I'm like, how vulgar. And I said, well, you know, to keep the audience, you know, flow well, I didn't want to start any kind of scene. I said, well, this one's on me then. And I just let her have it. I didn't want to start anything. She puts the coin back in my cap. And it was in that moment, with that little giggle that I let out, that I knew I was in love. Then she left. I don't know. I never talked to her again.
Just like that.
Yep.
You didn't
Maybe
chase
one day
after
I'll
her?
come across her again. No, I was performing my set. I mean, show must go on.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so.
But I was a whore. I mean, come on. That's classic comedy there. That was, she got me good.
Subtle flirting, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if that was meant to be. I'm going to take it as a compliment in that that was her way of flirting, though she stormed out and I never saw her again. I don't know. It felt like love to me. It was something different than anything else I had ever felt. So I was confused.
I would be too. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty dense. If it ain't right there in my face, if you know Evie didn't come out right and tell me she loved me, I probably would just be unsure.
And you really can't tell.
I
You know,
mean,
you can't.
Courier
You really
literally
can't.
told me that, and I was confused at what she meant.
We're really bad at this, aren't we?
Well, at least you guys are going to die having loved someone. I'm going to die alone.
I love you, bro. We shared a
He walks
room
over to
together.
the bar, so you see he just puts one hand on the bar. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. Fuck you for saying that. I'm not going to cry.
We're not gonna die in here, Marty.
No, yeah, probably not in here. What are they going to come in here and just start stabbing us? No, they're going to take us to the chopping block and just fucking cut our heads off. Yes.
We're not gonna die in the city.
No, we're not.
I can't.
You can never be too sure. I don't think Dom expected that to be the last moments. I don't think he expected that to be the...
Do we
You
ever
never know
really
what the last words you're going to speak to somebody are. He was good to me. You all eventually did, but he was the first, and after what I had done, he forgave me. The quickest of all of you. I won't forget that.
We do have an ace up our sleeve, though, that none of these guards are going to expect.
What's that?
We have something to lose, something to fight for. Pure power of will. We are not going to die in this town.
I hope you're right. You hear a series of footprints kind of marching from down, or from up the dungeon and walking down the cellar. They make their way into kind of the torchlight outside of your cell. It was one of the kind of elite Kingsguard. But you got nothing to say?
Not really, no.
Are you going to tell us why you are in here?
Just checking on you. I figured I might give you, you know, a bit of a heads up. The Queen has reinstated the Red Chambers, so you're gonna have a lot of fun in there.
But
What are
it's...
You'll find out. Been a long while since we've had to use them, I guess. You know, he kind of leans in a little bit closer. It's one thing to extract the truth out of somebody. It's another thing to create it. Anyways, you've got a guest. They'd like to speak with you. He stands there for like an awkward amount of time, just kind of like staring at you guys.
How's his demeanor? Is he like pretty cocky?
Cocky, very cocky, yeah. Seems like, just based on passive insight, one that might have been privy to what was going on. He kind of like turns down the hall. All right, you've got a couple minutes. I'm due for lunch. He heads out, heads down the hall. You hear kind of two pairs of footprints. Kind of making their way down the hall. There is, I guess it would be familiar to both of you. The near miss for you there, Rowan, and the spider form of Asher, as you see Inquisitor Jothrand has made his way down into the cellar, and kind of trailing behind him seems to be like kind of like an assistant that kind of clutching a book or whatever, like this time seemed to be the note taker She's kind of like a smaller girl. She seems like elf-like, but probably some kind of like half-elf. She's got just like a piercing at the top of one of her ears. But the kind of smaller elf ears kind of breeds towards half-elf. She has kind of more slightly rounded features than the elf that you're used to, as far as like between Briar and Karan. In a lot of ways, her pale features are kind of akin to the Moonlake elves, but in a more icy blue tint. Her hair is long and braided, and it hangs almost to her waist and shifts from blue to white and back to blue the longer it gets. But distinct from the kind of the palette of the white and blues is the kind of the warmth of her golden brown eyes. She kind of claps the book to her chest and kind of like has her head down, and she kind of like almost like following his orders, like as far as like being his assistant. And you see she kind of like, as she gets closer, she kind of like eyes each of you, and then kind of like stands off in the corner, not sitting at that stool, but kind of standing there, kind of like a little bit further back as he makes his approach towards the bars. And you see that she's kind of nervously drumming the book that she's holding, and in the torchlight you see it like flashes this curious green crystal that is inset into the ring. And then Inquisitor Jothrin speaks up. Revan, it's good to see you again. And I don't think I've met either of you. Marty just still kind of like has his head against the bars. I'm Marterson. Pleasure to meet you, whoever you are.
I have a feeling you already know who I am. And Asher's gonna like take more of like a confident, cocky front because
you must be the druid.
I'll have been referred to by a lot of things. That sounds about right. You must be the one.
Notorious fighter.
Are you here to gloat over your victory over your boogeymen?
No. You see him kind of like glance over, and he looks at the chair, and he kind of walks over, and you see the assistant kind of like takes a step back and like clutches the book a little bit as he approaches or whatever, and then he grabs the chair and kind of drags it across the cell hall, and then sets it down in front of you, and he kind of like places his his forearms on his knees as he kind of leans in. Believe it or not, I'm here to help you.
Also.
Well, the truth of this. I don't believe the Queen's story, not for 1 minute. It's not me that needs to be convincing. My issue is that you, more likely than not, are going to be executed. And with you, when your heads roll, so will all of the knowledge that you have of Headmother Catherine and Headmaster Aiden's involvement in the conspiracy involving Asher.
You actually just missed him by, I don't know, time's weird, an hour or two.
It would do no good to speak with him, I already have. But I need other confirmations. Tell me what you know. At least get that truth out and get her removed as head mother, because if it is true, she has no right being the head mother of the Temple of Light, and everything that the Temple of Light stands for cannot be that.
Well, before we say anything, let me get this straight. You want us to give a deathbed confession. That is all.
As you say that, like the deathbed confession, you see the kind of female figure that sits off or stands off in the corner. She kind of like almost this guilty look on her face as you like say that, as like she's disgusted at that thought as well. I understand that everything that you've done has been for good. Does that end before you die?
I would prefer to not die. I can probably speak for my comrades here. For something we did not commit. You yourself don't believe. What is the Queen's story?
It was a plot orchestrated by the Fated Five in an attempt to get Prince Dominicus into the kinghood. And then both thrones are open. He is technically king of both nations.
Rowan, this whole time, is just gonna have his eyes locked and sharp on Jothrin, not saying anything.
Your group doesn't seem like the type. I know you. I know your kind. You're just adventurers.
Yeah, and you should know what we did in Lake Grass.
I'm privy to that as well. Sometimes he kind of like leans forward a little bit. You don't want to lay out all of your cards at once. Sometimes you need to build a case. Sometimes you need to build a suit.
Can I do a insight check?
Yeah,
on
I'm
him?
gonna be.
I really want to see.
Absolutely, go ahead.
I want to see if he's really trying to help us, or is he again trying to get a deathbed confession for his benefit? So, for whatever reason.
Can I give advantage on this?
You can roll your own if you'd like.
Okay, that's a
Roll a 16. Let me see.
insight.
+1, 17.
I gotta go find my. Insight is +5, so that's a 24.
24 and 16, is that what it was?
17. I rolled a 16 +1.
Rowan, with yours, you kind of glean that it is in a lot of ways kind of like a deathbed confession that he's trying to suss out. With yours, Asher, a little bit more depth to that. You think that, or you get this feeling that, like, to him, like, this last bit of justice that you could potentially perform is, like, should be enough reason. Like, that is helping you, essentially. You get the sense that, like, he recognizes your situation as dire. There's not a whole lot that he'd be able to do. as far as like actually being able to help you.
Well, I understand what you're doing, and it's noble, but we've been bit in the ass more times than we can count at this point. So we just want to make sure that we give you this information, that you're not just going to turn around and stab us in the back like everybody else in this city seems to be doing. He's gonna look over to Rowan and be like, am I agreed?
Rowan's gonna shrug and just shake his head.
And this is my issue with Head Mother Catherine. She has planted these types of seeds of doubt in people's minds. You know, one of the specifications of a Head Mother of the Temple of Light is that you're supposed to be very powerful. And the truth of the matter is she could not have revived Eden if she had wanted to. There are only a select few in the world that can do such things. The Temple of Light does not have anyone in their purviews currently capable of even such things. We like to keep the illusion that we do. That keeps us in the king's favors. That keeps us in
Rowan's gonna nudge Asher.
important.
There's no one in the temple.
Not revivifications of that nature, not that strong, not that powerful. Simple revivifies, of course, but
Is that why the king is not currently alive again?
there is also debate on whether it's ethical to revive a king. Of course, the kings are all for that, but it is something that the Temple of Light has attempted to negotiate many times. Is it ethical to revive somebody just because of the position that they hold over any other being? I don't think it's ever that black and white.
And is that why you were interrogating us over magic use?
You don't want to show all of your cards. Sometimes you have to build your suit.
Tell us, Jothrin, what is your motive for taking her out of power?
Let me be forthright. I seek to have her removed so that I may advance.
At least he's honest. I was just gonna look at him. I personally don't have a lot to add. My actions speak louder than words.
All the information that I have is secondhand from Briar, who's probably dead at this point. And, well, with the Asher thing, his father all but admitted his guilt when we healed him up on the bridge.
What is your opinion on what has happened?
I think that both parties are... I think the temple is corrupt, and the Order of Heroes is weak and not just gives in.
I want to shift my gaze to the woman. What's she doing?
She's writing kind of jotting down notes here and there. You kind of make eye contact with her, and she has like this kind of like concerned, quizzical look on her face. But then her then she makes eye contact with you, and like her eyes kind of like narrow, like she's trying to gauge you.
The fact that you're in here, and the last we spoke to the king was trying to remove 2 heads of the order and the temple. If that went through, who knows, but
My
at this
worry
point-
is that now that the king is dead, that will not be the case. Because I am for
What
that.
a-
I don't think that Headmother Catherine, your friend,
What of Dom?
according to the queen, your friend, after having gained the trust of the family and the council and the king, they let their guard down and allowed him to have his weapons. And he used those weapons on the king. The king did
It's
not
not
survive. The queen managed to get the attention of the guards. The guards rushed in and put him down before he could take her out as well.
well, that's a... Dom doesn't use weapons.
It was a crossbow. Some kind of special crossbow.
Dom has never used that a day in his life. Well, he did. He can't hit the broadside of a barn.
And who knows that?
I just find it funny that the day after the Temple Mother, Catherine, is relieved of her duties,
She's not been relieved yet. That's why I
The
need
day-
more evidence.
the day after she is planned to be relieved, the king, the only person who can give us such an order, winds up dead. And the 5 people that have been a royal pain in her ass just so happened to take the fall.
I understand the conspiracy surrounding your imprisonment and the setup involving that. I assure you it has nothing to do with me. I cannot speak for the rest of the Temple of Light. If Headmother Catherine had something to do with that, that is all the more reason that she should not be in power. She does not stand for what the light stands for. The light can do good again. I aim to achieve that. The light... He kind of like turns to the assistant. She used to be a thief. Criminal. Who knows what else? But she found the light. And she is now trying to walk in the light and make a good difference in the world.
Yeah, and so was my brother.
You know, sometimes those who shine the brightest lights attract the most gruesome moths. Or those who seek to snuff it out. I would do what I can to get your truth out, but I can make no guarantees you are up against powers beyond either of our heads.
Make sure our actions are expressed, our past ones, where we've helped people in Midcove, Lake Grasp, Tilla, here.
I am not going to barter with you. I will speak your truth, regardless of whether you helped me remove Mother Catherine or not, because that is what the light would do. The light exposes the darkness, so I intend to do that. I just wanted to gain your confidence and hear from your own mouths what you believed happened in the Asher situation.
Well, since we're all being honest here, and the only words that I know is that Asher got turned away from the temple, saying that they can't revive her. Asher said they wouldn't, and stormed off.
And what of the conspiracy? You had been there when Aiden was speaking with you about what happened.
Asher said that there was a demon of some sort that had a holy blade that him and Eden were sent to dispatch. When the demon killed Eden, the temple and the order were all gone in the town.
He kind of leans over to the girl. Make note that we should look into the records of enchantments and orders to evacuate. And he kind of smiles at her. She nods her head and begins to write a note.
What of
That is
Aiden?
helpful. As it stands,
Where's Aiden?
Aiden has stepped down. At least while this investigation is undergone, and I imagine this case of regicide will take precedence over that, so it may be placed on hold for a while. I can do no part in that, but speak your truth and then my own. I can continue my investigation of Head Mother Catherine, and that is what I have set out to do. Jathril, as it stands, he was officially appointed by the king. He is now acting headmaster of the Order of Heroes. Though I suppose he won't be spared the scrutiny of being involved with your group.
What do you know of this red room, or whatever that guard was referring to?
The Red Chamber. In short, it is a torture chamber. It is rumored that it is not necessarily that they extract truth, but that they plant it. They break you down until you agree with whatever they have said. That was the work of the Order of, was the work of the Temple of Light shutting that down, so the unfortunate part is that I believe that Head Mother Catherine would have no issue with it now, because it could play into her favor.
They apparently have re-implemented it, and that's exactly what the guard told me. Cocky little douche.
Cock-a-doodle-doosh. Well, if that is the case, steel yourself for that. I will do what I can to counsel Head Mother against it, but again, it might be to her advantage, given her circumstance. I don't know that she is so far gone that she would fight it.
We have nothing to hide.
It's not about what you have to hide.
Oh, I know.
It is what they will force you to hide. And the thoughts that they will plant in your head. Physical and magical means. I have heard tell when it was implemented years ago, they could transform even the most resilient into nothing more than a babbling dog who bows to their every will. Is there anything more that you can tell me about the Asher situation? Most particularly, anything pertaining to what Headmother Catherine may have done or involved. You've given a lot so far. I thank you for that.
Honestly, I think that's out of game. Like, that's pretty much it, right?
Unless anybody else has anything, you can meta for a second if you want.
Martison was there to watch things
Oh.
go down. So,
But do we... I mean, yeah.
well, he's giving us a chance to talk about it. So, I mean, just think about that between you two.
We do know he was with you when that whole thing went down. So yeah, he would be a first-hand source.
But that's also up to Martison.
That he was with. What do you mean that he was? You were all privy to all the conversation that happened because you guys kind of divulged.
But
it
he
with each
was
other.
there. He was there with Bree and Coel.
And that's what Asher was saying, is he only has secondhand information from the book that Briar had.
Well, the only thing that I know is that Briar has been keeping a detailed account of her interactions with, I think, not only the nobilities and higher-ups, but also the Temple of Light, most specifically the conspiracy involving her. So I don't know if you can try and get a hold of her. I don't think she'd be too privy to that idea, but yeah, somehow get some of that information. It might be helpful. She wrote very detailed accounts of, I believe even at one point had Asher write his own account of what he believed happened. So if all of that aligns and all of it seems like it, I don't know if that would help, but I'm sure you're getting conflicted information from either sources, so yes, that could be very helpful.
Just do me a favor when you approach her. Don't bring guards. Just yourself. And
He
your
kind of
friend
looks
there.
over at her. She is no god.
I actually do have a favor to ask, if you wouldn't mind. Would you send off a letter for me?
Sure.
And he'll ask for a piece of paper and basically scribble down a message to Coria, sending it to Wolfwater.
Okay.
Saying to us flee to the elf territory.
Nice. She's already going to be gone. She's not going to get it. It's
going to Wolfwater.
Yeah. So. It's a diversion, Sky.
Into my territory.
Oh, into my oh, that's right. That's what she's like, send it on my way. No, that's fine. Yes, I can do that for you. I'm sorry that there's not more that I can do for your situation. I wish the best for you. I hope that somehow still the truth gets out and perhaps you can keep your heads.
since I have no real means of... can you send Jathril down here? Since this may be the last time I see him.
I will send for him.
Thank you. And Rowan's just gonna put his head down, visibly upset.
Thank you for your time. He
Thank
kind
you.
of stands up and moves the chair back to the spot. You see that she, instead of moving like backwards, she moves forward a little bit. And you see as he begins to walk, like she hesitates a moment. She kind of like eyes each of you, like with this kind of like almost like pity or like concern and worry. This is like kind of the sense that like this isn't right. These innocent people that are getting this. It's like you kind of get that vibe.
Rowan's just gonna kind of do like the... Smile at her. No, like that. You know, you say hi to, like, yeah, just kind of like, this is what it is. What it is.
And that is where we will pick up next time. And I'm gonna give you a little spoiler tease. That character is going to be a guest PC next session. We will have. Do I say who it is? do I make the announce?
I think we can announce who it is. We just won't give away like the character name and stuff. I think we should.
Won't give the character
I think
name.
we should.
Yes, we will just. This will be Hannah from Bards of New York. She will be joining us for a few sessions as this mysterious Temple of Light assistant character. I can't wait for you guys to meet her.
Let's go.
All right. Our first Legends of Aelos guest on the main campaign. We've had one-shot guests, lots of fun on the one-shot. But we will be having excited for that. Hey, so excited to kill your characters.
Wait a minute, Holston, stop making it kind of like the asshole characters that we hate.
You know, I gotta present them as harsh and then be like, oh fuck, they're kind of likable, they're kind of understandable. You know, I gotta keep it gray. I mean, you know, you never know. You know,
It'll be interesting to see if that letter gets to Wolfwater unread.
I was smart, dude. I freaking forgot about that. Good call.
Kind of like how we've grown to like Marty, right? This guy hates that she likes Marty now. What?
It's an emphasis on kinda.
Kinda likes him. I mean, Briar's opened up to him a lot. Let's be real. You know, he's right there with the party now. All right.
Yep.
How you guys feeling?
I'm stressed.
I'm stressed. Why? What are you stressed about?
We're gonna be tortured. Memories implanted.
We're planned to be tortured. Asher has no plan on that actually happening to us.
Just like, fuck this, I'm out.
Because let's be honest here, this is only an illusion that we're being held here. We're kind of here on our free will, because at least two of us could leave.
Yeah, Marty.
Just leave him, Marty. Oh my god.
Oh, no, I was planning on leaving Rowan. I mean, what? Joking,
Wait, it's
joking.
an Uno reverse
joke.
card. You guys leave. You abandon Martison?
That would be terrible.
No.
It's loot. You can't.
I mean,
Technically, he's the only one that's, like, completely innocent out of, like... He's not technically part of the group, so, like, we might be able to If
We
it's
can
only
probably-
me and Rowan, we're basically there on our own free will.
Hello, creature. Have you decided
Just
it's time
because
for
he's
your
in it,
attention?
innocent doesn't mean he wouldn't die. I mean, he's still
Yeah.
associated with
You
the
guys are
party,
all
so-
innocent and you're
Yeah.
on the chopping block, so I mean,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but he's not fully part of the group, so we might be able to be like, you don't need him. He's just worthless. He's just a worthless bard.
Wyatt!
What?
Coming in clutch. What?
Hey, enjoy your emotes, guys. Thanks for those 5 gifted subs, Wyatt. Thank you for that. I hope you guys all.
Let's go.
I hope you guys all enjoyed. Saphir is ready for me to be done, but man, there's still. Did any of the anxiety get relieved from last time? Or is it just
No.
even more heightened now?
No. I was thinking a lot, like what to say. Should I say it? Do I want to? I was like, no, because Rowan is not good with words. So I was like, best to keep my mouth shut.
I'm very glad that Asher like dropped the cocky asshole, because before he's like, oh, this fucking asshole. And then the guard, I was like, this guy needs to be knocked down a peg. And I can do it, but it'll fuck us.
The great moment I'm just picturing is gonna turn into, oh no, I was cursed by a witch. I'm a spider, and I'm like, I'm a mermaid. I fell into the sea.
Oh no. Yes, she is
Whoops.
mostly a husky. She's my babies. She was the one that was grumbling earlier, trying to get my attention. Yeah, it's a baby. All right, guys. You know what time it is.
Right.
You know what time it is.
Oh,
Party
it's gonna
time.
be it's gonna be a short week for us this week, dude.
Why?
Feels good,
Why is it
man.
a
This
short
week's
week?
gonna go by fast. Oh, it's just our work schedule.
Oh, nice.
It'll be
Let's
nice.
go. Not for me. I don't want to stop. I
don't
just want to
either.
keep playing this game.
5 more minutes,
man.
Dad.
5 more minutes. No, that's a good stopping point. It's a good stopping point. So, guys, stick around for a raid. We're going to show somebody some love. Make sure you come in next week where we have a guest. Let's go! Okay. Don't forget exclamation point. Candles, exclamation point. Hero Forge, exclamation point. Discord. Come hang out and show us love. I love you guys, okay? Okay, bye. Goodbye time. Hey, you guys remember that time? You remember that time when last episode where Dominicus died and we don't have Seth with us anymore? Do you remember that? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, I remember. Do you remember?